Christy Miller back again with more How to Write a Journalistic Article, Day 3. Now, all of this has been put in a packet and is available on Teachers Pay Teachers for a nominal fee. It's teacherspayteachers.com, and look for Christy Miller, the Learning Coach. There's another Christy Miller, so you have to do the Learning Coach. And all of this is typed up, all the exercises and all the information that I'm sharing with you. Might be easier, and it's all in a packet that you can give to your students as they're learning how to write journalistic articles. Or you might even want to become a journalist, huh? Yeah. So today I want to talk about prioritizing. How do you choose what goes in the lead, what goes in the body, and what order do you put it in the body of the paragraph? So what I have my students do, I'm looking for my pen here, is I give them a lot of information. Let me show you this. Just a whole page full of information about an article. And they have to tell me whether it's going to be a 1, which would be in the lead, a 2, which would be in the top of the body paragraph, a 3, or a 4. And that means that those things could be cut if they weren't really necessary to include. And in this article, I've given them quotes, dates, information, everything they need to know. They just need to prioritize it, and this is also in the packet. So when they do that, then all the ones are going to be included in the lead. And then they'll know the second things need to be maybe 5 or 6 paragraphs in the second priority. Because remember, you're looking at an article could have 15, 20, 25, 30 paragraphs because they're short. They're 1 to 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences. They're 40 to 60 words, usually not as many as 60, usually 20 to 40. And quotes are all separate. So they could intermix some quotes in there to make it interesting. But what is the priority? And that's what the students need to decide. So then how do I go about teaching this practically for students? Well, one of the things we do is they interview a classmate. So a classmate thinks of something that they really love to do, and then they put themselves 20 years ahead, and they see if they became famous doing it. Maybe a chef, maybe a baseball player, whatever it was, a person who jumps horses, equestrian, whatever it is, think of what you love, and then think 20 years from now and you become famous. So then you think of all the details, and then one of your classmates interviews you. They take notes, they get quotes from you and everything, and they always check their quotes to make sure it's right. I've been misquoted so many times in papers, it's really sad. But check your quotes, and then they have to write an article and do a headline based on this person as if they were real and it really happened. And then you trade partnerships, so the other person is interviewed and the other person does the interviewing. So then you come up with an article. I usually give them something like this, a who, what, when, where, why, and how, so they can get lots of answers to the who or the what or the when or the where or the why and the how. And then they can figure out, then they can prioritize it and figure out what's going to go in the lead, what's going to go in the body, and what order in the body they should write it. The next idea I have is with middle school kids, I like to read a novel that lends itself to some journalistic writing, such as Hatchet. Kids love the book Hatchet. This kid is on a plane to the Canadian wilderness to see his dad in the oil fields, and the plane with just a pilot and himself crashes. Or the pilot has a heart attack, and so he has to land the plane. And he has to figure out a way to survive. Well, the first article that they're writing is based on he's missing. What happened to him? Where did he go? They bleep one off the radar of the who's watching the airplanes. They got a brief message from the kid, but where is he? And so they write an article and they interview search and rescue and the police, and they make up all these quotes because you can't really interview those people, but they make up what they would say. Friends of this kid, his parents, the pilot's wife, the air traffic controller, all these people can add information, but they don't know what happened. So they write the article from the point of view that speculation, based on people being interviewed. They can't speculate, but other people can be interviewed and speculate. And then, of course, when they're done with the book, hate to give it away, but they find Brian and he's rescued, and then they write another article and they quote Brian a lot in the article because he's been rescued and he's telling them about his experience lost in the Canadian wilderness. So those are two ideas. I also used the book Snowbound by Harry Mazer. That's a fun one where two kids are caught in a snowstorm and they're lost and then they're found. And so the same thing, you could do both for each one. So there's great ways to incorporate literature into journalism. Find a book that you like and see how it would work for that. So this is day 3. And remember, all this is available at teacherspayteachers.com. Christy Miller, the Learning Coach. Thanks. I'll see you for day 4.